Hey everybody, welcome back to another awesome day. We're going to get into Pulsechain. Of course, it looks like consolidating. We called that correctly yesterday, so that's really cool. We've got Hydra and Flux launches. We're going to talk about that, and of course, the Titan X ecosystem is going to be huge. So really cool. Looking at some really good stuff happening in crypto, and we want to be a part of the stuff that makes us mad gains, right? So kind of cool. Pulsechain has been really good last couple of days. Obviously, Titan X ecosystem taking over Ethereum, and of course, still very early on that. And lots of big launches coming up over the next 6 to 8 weeks. And Hydra and Flux are going to be two important ones of that. But we're also going to have, obviously, some interviews with some founders. So we had Bad Sports on, I think it was yesterday. We've got coming up, we've got Element 280. We're going to talk about that in a second. We've also got another interview following up after that. So next 2 days, we've got two big team interviews coming up. You don't want to miss that. Huge potential upside on those. And we'll try and give you some context as well. If you're not in our strategy club, of course, join up to that today. The link's in the video description. That's $35 a month. But we're looking at the multi-chain opportunities, Pulsechain, Ethereum, BNB, other chains. It's going to be really cool. X1, of course, coming up, which we think is going to be a mega chain. So don't want to miss out on that. All right, so let's get into it. We've got a couple of people in the house. We've got Lights Beneath here. How are you today? Very good. We've got Hex, Pulsex, incentive for the win, 100%. That is the maxi strategy of Hex Token channel. A big shout out. Now, we're streaming to 3 different channels, of course, Superman Crypto, Pulsechain X, and Hex Token. And, of course, Superman Crypto is kind of our general crypto. We talk about Titan X and other things like that on there. But we're pretty much streaming all those topics now in our new format. Which covers them all, right? So we're looking to make mad gains. The bull market looks like it's ready to set to take off. Maybe October is still our pick, and maybe the U.S. election is the trigger there as well. Now, obviously, U.S. election, we did see that Trump, another assassination attempt on Trump, and of course, that is golf course. Very dodgy, of course, and we'll probably expect maybe we even get another one before the election on the 5th of November, really trying to take him out and overthrow democracy. Individuals trying to overthrow democracy there. Maybe associated with some deep state. Who knows? Definitely looks pretty dodgy, some of those things. All right, we got Sandy Beach in the house there. Hello, Hex Token, everybody. Hey, good to see you, Sandy. Sandy always crushing it out there with the health and fitness. Appreciate everything you do, Sandy. And, of course, Sandy having a good time out there in the good old USA, traveling around. We got DJ and Hexagon as well. PDI for the win. Yeah, hey, look, we're going to be following that journey. Talking about PDI, we got, LUSD, whatever, got rugged today. We're going to talk about that as well. We were certainly not liking that because it wasn't burning enough, and then suddenly just gets rugged. So just unfortunate when these teams destroy value like that and take off with the money. Character and ethics really do matter, don't they? And knowing people with good character and ethics and morals even are very important. So this crypto, got to be careful out there. We got Wookie in the house there. Wookie's in the mist. Hey, Wookie, good to see you in the chat. One of our moderators, and we got Wookie is here to see the dragonfly. He likes dragons. Pup the Magic Dragon, I think, is his favorite character. And we got Richie Robinson in the house there. Good to see you, Richie Robinson. Hope you're doing well. Hex Token channel member represent. Yeah, boy. Sandy says she's been shopping lately. Oh, very nice. Have you seen that movie Shopaholic? It's a great movie. You should check that out if you haven't seen that. It's really good. Hex Vader in the house there. Hey, gang. Hey, Hex Vader. Looking good in there. Now, we're going to get into the start of the show. Let's go for it. And, of course, our first half is going to be crypto. And then we've got 3 sections, crypto. And then we're going to do Pulsechain. Then we're going to do Titan X ecosystem. And that's kind of our format these days. And sometimes we add in Zen and X1 as well. So this is the background. This is our the show coming up, Element 280. Now, this is with the dude. This guy is a very smart guy. And we're going to hear from him tomorrow. And so, yeah, we're going to be covering Element 280. This is Ethereum and Pulsechain. So this guy's doing stuff on Ethereum and Pulsechain. And I love that crossover. We know how we got Jacob doing all the GameFi between Pulsechain and BNB. Well, here we got the dude, a very smart guy, doing Element 280. Helios, of course, which is already launched on the Titan X ecosystem. And Janus, which many of you may not know, is on the Pulsechain, doing Pulsechain stuff. And it is a really clever product. So hopefully you guys don't want to miss that. I swear it tomorrow, especially with the Pulsechain prices where they are. Janus could become a big heavyweight. You've seen PDGC out there become a heavyweight in the Pulsechain ecosystem. Well, Janus could be another one of those. Yeah, very good project. So we're going to talk about that. Don't miss that one tomorrow. So that's going to be the interview tomorrow. I'll post the link, of course, in the chat, so you guys can go and hit the notification bell right now. Don't muck around. Element 280 interview with the dude, and a real super smart guy doing some really good stuff both on Ethereum and Titanx and on Pulsechain. We love that crossover, right? Because crossover means more people coming back and forth, and that's what we want. We want a vibrant, vibrant ecosystem there. So look forward to that tomorrow. Hit the notification bell. Share it around. If you're on X, share it around that interview is coming up, and do the usual tags. It's going to be really, really awesome. Element 280. Now we're going to have another interview coming in on the following day. Actually, it might be 2 days or later, and that's with another big project team on the Titanx as well on Ethereum. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, we're trying to bring some of the alpha here this week. It's really turning out really nice. All right, so that is pretty much it. Let's move into the crypto and check that out. So at the moment, BTC just taking a bit of a pull down just in the last hour or two. Was kind of holding at about 60K. Just started to taper off the last couple of hours. We're at $59,272 for Bitcoin, down 1.42%. Funny this, isn't it funny that Bitcoin's down like that? Because there's a lot of analysts out there expecting Bitcoin to take off soon. And of course, we're just going to get this volatility. It is September. We know September is, Rec September? And we're going to get this volatility, but we're actually sitting pretty nicely around the 60K. And if we're going to head towards that 90K to 100K, I think we're in a pretty good base zone, right? So kind of cool to see that. Now, if we had gone all the way back down to the 40s, maybe we could question all that, but still sitting around the 60s coming out as we're moving through. What are we, halfway through September? So 2 more weeks to brave it. And we've got the Fed Reserve interest rate cuts, the true pivot coming up on the 18th. That's only about 3 days away, 2-3 days. So that's really bullish. We may continue to have volatility in September, but maybe that makes us bullish in October, or which is the opposite of September, right? So Bitcoin dominance has increased 55.6%. Ethereum is $2,324, down 4%. That's kind of the play there. Now, people are also calling it for XRP to do really well. It's actually down 4%, ironically. XRP there getting back on Robinhood after being delisted, and that's getting back on. So XRP having a bit of a breather there. I don't like XRP myself. Ripple just can mint and dump and dump and dump. Gets a lot of corporate support. Really don't like that, so I avoid XRP myself. Sitting 57 cents here. ADA, of course, post the Chang fork. Not really much happened, right? Mike Hutchinson really does. He's generally, really wanting to do well for the ecosystem, but it just doesn't get the support, does it? Down 4.5% here at 33 cents. Now, obviously, when we do get this big crypto bull market on, all these ones are going to go up. But ADA there not getting a lot of love. Certainly didn't get back to 70 cents. We got BNB at the moment flat, $556. BNB's got better inflation. Obviously, it's a lot of risky ROI protocols over there. Passive income and 2%, 1% per day, sort of stuff. It's a bit of a pyramid scheme in many ways. But BNB has better inflation. That's why it does better over the bull bear market cycles, relatively speaking, and it's very centralized, right? So there's a bit of a mix there. Anyway, a bit of a mixed day today. Solana down 4% as well. And Tron is up. Tron's pretty much even there, 14.8 cents, but Tron doesn't do too much either. Pretty similar to BNB in many ways, like with some of the dApps. So that's pretty much it for that. Let's jump into the Bitcoin on the hourly. You can see we're actually doing pretty well, right? Up at $60,400, and we only just tapered off the last half a day here, and we got down as low as 58,700, but we're at 59,000 at the moment. Like we said, no difference there. We expect the volatility in this month, and that's what we've got, but it's still holding up relatively well. So you can sort of see a bit of a rollover there. See the rollover sort of curving down with the higher lows, but the bottoms aren't too bad. And of course, we've just about hit that interest rate pivot, man. Woohoo! Probably 25 to 50 basis points. We get 50. I think it's going to be bullish for the market, and that could push us out. Now, see this red line? That's September. That's Rec September, where it's really volatile. And once we get through that in about 2 weeks, maybe we start to rise up in October, which is normally bullish for crypto and the U.S. election. If we get Trump winning, assuming he doesn't get assassinated again, that's on the 5th of November, then we could really take off. And we've also got an interest rate cut after that as well. So we're still expecting, I think, around about 1 to 1.25 percentage points, which is effectively 100 to 125 basis points on the interest rate in September, November, and December. And that makes money cheap. Cheap money means people go and speculate more. And of course, that means they're less likely to look at fixed interest rate, really conservative stuff, and take more risk on, like crypto. So that's pretty bullish. And maybe the Fed decides in October to start printing more money, rather than tapering it off and into the US election. We shall see. We shall see whether we get a bit of money printing out of the September meeting. That would be a pretty surprise. And of course, that would flush the money in there. And of course, the money multiplier, so risk taking. And then, of course, game on for a Christmas run to 90, 100K Bitcoin at least. Next year, of course, still thinking about the bull market continuing, especially if Trump wins. And it could be pretty exciting. Now, what's the real economy going to be doing? Well, it may have a bit of a pullback tanking because of how much damage the Biden, Harris have done to the U.S. economy. And so maybe a lot of those things will come home to roost, right? So we shall see about that as well. But, if that does happen, Trump's the man. He's got the best economists, man, around, and they look at supply and demand. They do the right job. And, of course, we look for that to take off again, so it's not the end of the world. And they might be able to turn things around 6 months if they do have a real medium to hard landing in the U.S. economy, which can suddenly, it's always lagged, remember, always lagged. We can already see early signs of that. So let's see how good these timings interest rates are. But nevertheless, going to be pretty bullish there. Ethereum, of course, let's pump to that. That's been down as well, even more dramatic. I mean, Ethereum here is like a weak, it's just having a weakness on there. And look at that, we got down, 5.7%. That's pretty big, $138. Currently down 4.5%, $109 at the moment. We were sitting up around 2,400. We're now 2,315 there on the hourly. So pretty dramatic. Nothing to see there. September was always going to be volatile, and that's what we've seen. Now, obviously, with Ethereum, it even looks more sicker, right? Because we had a death cross back here on the 12th of August in the 50-day move below the 200-day moving average. We can see that's still pretty big. And, we've really struggled here. Bounced off $2,138 twice now. And here we are, 2,315. So pick up your cheap Ethereum. That's definitely there. But like I say, another 2 weeks, we're out of that. We've got interest rates, US election. Fingers crossed, folks. Now, I do hope, I know the Democrats love this, but I hope they don't, they're going to do it. They're probably going to do it. Is close down the battleground states, just like they cheated last time. I mean, what an obvious cheat. Just disgusting how they closed the battleground states down. What a rigged election that was. And hopefully we'll get a just one this time. They've definitely, some of the states may have moved to a much better system there. So there we go. Why close down the battleground states and not all the other states, right? It's just ridiculous. These guys are such cheaters. All right, so let's see how we go. Let's jump over to the meme coins. Meme coins at the moment, obviously waiting for that big bull market rally, but Dogecoin's still up 7-8%, 15 billion. We got a bit of move on SHIB and Pepe as well. They're up. It's Popcat there on Solana up 28%. That's pretty good performance in a week, down 5% today though. What else is going pretty interesting? 34% for Sundog. That's the new entrant, right? That's down 2% today. What else has moved down up there? Simon's Cat moved into the top moves there as well, up 25%, up 2% at the moment. So Simon's Cat out there making some moves. And our beautiful dog is just under a bit of pressure trying to find the bottom. When is the bottom of dog? Now the holders are going up by thousands, but we're just under a bit of pressure on dog, sitting at 210 million, up at 18.7%. But I think once we get that uptrend in the Bitcoin, I think dog's going to re-rate a lot, especially with the fact that thousands of holders accumulating it now at lower prices. I really do think it's going to have that exponential rally. How high will it get? We will see. Now, it's very fundamental. Dog does well for the whole Runes protocol, and the Runes protocol launched on Bitcoin at the Bitcoin halving this year. And it's been taken over at #1 spot by Nakamoto Dollar. So pretty interesting stuff happening there. So that is the meme coins. Let's go overall market cap on crypto to wrap up this section. 2.06 trillion, down 2% at the moment. That's where we are. And volume up 11% at $44.7 billion in total volume on coin market cap. So that's pretty much our crypto roundup. Hope you guys enjoyed some of that. Now, obviously, there's been some interesting court cases going on as well around securities, and of course, Eero, I think it's Eero, is got the SEC on it, and of course, they managed to drop Ethereum as a security, and so really do seem to be treating Ethereum as a commodity, and so that should maybe is that going to bode well for the Richard Hart case? We shall see whether the lawyers use any of that stuff. Kind of peculiar behavior there from them. Let's see who else has jumped in here. Let's go to the comments. We've got Craig Pittenhouse. Morning all. Hey, Craig. Hope you're doing well. Wookie says the dude sounds a lot like the Wookie. I don't know. We'll find out tomorrow there, Wookie. We'll find out tomorrow. We got DJN in the house there. Superman. Lots of love. Hey, DJN Hex, can appreciate it. big shout out to you as a really dedicated Hex Token channel member. Appreciate it a lot. Wookie can see you. Wookie sees everybody. Wookie sees everybody when he's flying around. All right, let's get into Pulsechain and see how we're going for that. Bam. All right, so Pulsechain, day 492. Man, we're so close to 500 days since Pulsechain launched. Man. So 492 days. I think it was at the 13th of May last year. So yeah, we got the price of Pulse, quadruple 0377, down 4.3%, sitting at 38% of the mean sacrifice price. We got Pulsex at the moment, quadruple 0193, down 6.4%, sitting just below 20% of the mean sacrifice price. So even though we've had this rally over the last couple of days, it has we've definitely still well discounted from the mean sacrifice price. A lot of upside potentially sitting in the old Pulsechain stuff there. We've seen how quickly things can turn around on sentiment as well. We know that in crypto. Total burn at the moment, 981 billion Pulsex has been bought up and burned, and we definitely love that burn, buy and burn mechanism. 4.86% of the Pulsex has now been destroyed, and of course we're heading towards 5% of the total public supply there. Incentive tokens at the moment, $1.80, down 6.7%, 4.3% percentage points is of course the Pulsechain price. So the ratio has dropped a bit there, down to 47,900. The total existence there, well, it hasn't updated. This thing gets stuck for some reason. It's still sitting at 41.9. So hopefully it will get updated at some stage. Hex there at the moment is just below 5600th of a penny. Hex on Pulsechain, down 6.6%. So Hex has been the big leader lately. And we've got EHEX at the moment, 900th of a penny. That's down from 2200th of a penny yesterday. Sitting combined price at 3/4 of a penny. So it has re-rated. So we've gone below what we were down below, maybe 4/10 of a penny, just above that. Now we're at 3/4 of a penny. So that's a good move for Hex. And we've got nice consolidation there. So let's have a look at the charts on the weekly there. Now, obviously, Pulsechain has got the court case coming up. So we've got the weekly here. Nice green weekly. Look at that. We've got a brand new weekly candle. Look at that. Woohoo! Bring on another green week. Let's see. We are in volatile September, but let's see how we go. Let's go to the daily. And you can see the daily there. Really nice little rally here. Not bad at all. And a bit of consolidation. Why do we know consolidation was happening? Well, the RSI was getting a bit overheated. Had a little bit more room to move on Pulse. But, they got rejected at 65, back down to 57. So really liking this. I feel like a little zigzag is going to happen here. Do you guys feel that? Let me know in the chat if you feel that. Meanwhile, while you're telling me in the chat whether you think that that's going to happen, get into our poll. We've got a poll on at the moment on Hex Token and Superman Crypto. Will you participate with these Titan projects or in these projects? We've got Hydra, yes, Flux, yes, both of them. No, so just get in there on that one. And of course, Superman Crypto, we've also got that poll running at the moment as well. So get on that. We haven't got it on Pulsechain X, but once we get it more, we're certainly growing nicely on Pulsechain X. Once we get a bit more engagement over there, we'll put a poll up there too. We'll check that out later on when we get up to our final section, the Titan X part. So here we got coming up into the 24th of October, right, for the Richard Hart versus SEC and the court oral arguments. I think a lot of news has been coming out, like ERO there, that there's probably more evidence for them to use against the SEC with their terrible tactics. So let's screen this up a little bit here. So yeah, we're ticking away. How many days? Let's have a look. How many days we've got till the old meeting? Where's that gone? Let me take that away. So we got around about 37 days. Man, it's getting closer. We're almost down to a month countdown for that court case. Let us see what happens there. Wow, it's going to be fun. All right, so Pulsex at the moment, definitely performing well there. Hopefully it will bounce on this long-term support that we broke. And we've also got a bullish cross happening here as well. So we're going to have a little bit of consolidation here. RSI cooled off from 63 down to 55. So this is actually looking, we may turn again leading into the weeks of tomorrow. Obviously, we're Sunday in the US. You guys all know that Sunday typically is either a flat day or a down day most of the time. Sometimes we have an up day, but most time it's like that. And so if we can consolidate around here, man, it could be pretty positive, right? So let's fingers crossed. We could end up having a really green week ahead of us potentially. We've got the interest rate pivots course on the 18th. So yeah, let's see how we go. Incentive token. So we've got the ratio of this still holding up well in the zone, as you guys know. Let's go full screen on that. That is full screen. Look at that. Look at this. We're in this channel the whole time. Bounced off it and heading back towards the middle slightly. Wow, is that pretty cool? That is pretty cool. So incentive token performing like a boss. Hex at the moment, of course, has been the star of the show, And we did talk about this being, you know, smaller liquidity, chance of really moving this higher. Now, the other thing too is what's the Origin account going to do, right? What's the OA account going to do? Is it going to pin EHEX and PX together? Is it going to do something like that with its large volumes of Hex? Man, there's lots of different flipping gamification. We talk about Magic Upright all the time with 170,000 ETH plus any other sources out there, hint, hint. But man, what will the OA do? What will it do with Hex, and what will it do with the liquidity? Man, oh man, yeah, there's some real game theory out there for that. All right, so let me know in the chat if you got any opinions on that. We'll see what people say. All right, so that's kind of cool. At the moment, though, we're coming off here at about 50.65 on the RSI, and yeah, not looking too bad as well. Now, that is the Hex there, looking pretty good. Hopefully, we'll get a nice consolidation. RSI is a little heated, though, right? A little heated there. On the weekly, though, let's have a look at the 4 hourly, see if that gives us blue clues. Yeah, RSI on it there, 62. So we could consolidate a little bit here, but maybe we'll come back down to 50 or 55 there. We come down 56. Let's say we come down to 56. So we could have a little bit more retrace in here at the 55, maybe bounce off half a penny again. I don't know. But definitely that is looking good. I think the chart's looking pretty good. Maybe we really did get that rally out the weekend there, out into the new week, I should say. EHEX, of course, has had a really stellar move, 2x on this move, right? Just tapering down here at the moment. So definitely hot on the daily, and that may have to chill a little bit more, just a little bit more there before it takes off. Maybe a normal bounce from 1700th of a penny. We shall see before it makes its next move higher. Looking at derivatives, everything's pretty much down, so not too much to say about that. Stable coins, they're all down pretty much, are they? Yeah, everything's pretty much down now. The big sad one there, of course, was LUSD. Got rugdified. Got rugdified. Look at that. Oh my gosh. LUSD. There we go, folks. It got rugged. And of course, the burn was disappointing, right? You guys heard me talking about that, but now it's fundamentally been rugged there. And there's 15 bucks in liquidity in it. So for those that were speculating on LUSD, it is a speculative stablecoin. And of course, that got rugged. So, you know, there's some bad people out there, unfortunately, in the world. You guys all know it. You're all grown ups. And so that's the way it goes. Now, meanwhile, of course, people pegging their hopes on PDI and the maker theory and curve and all the rest of it, with Richard Hart behind it. So we'll see. So far, this is still holding up 3,600 for a penny. And of course, that orange line above is 1 penny. So will it make it? Certainly looking good in the chart. You can't deny it's got higher lows here. You can see that. So yeah, making its turn to 1 cent. Now, obviously, people are getting mad gains from that, right? But is it any different from other coins? I don't know. Not really. There's certainly some big holders there. Is there going to be suddenly some big fat liquidity pegged up? We shall see. If you're into those theories, it is definitely fun to watch for sure. And there's plenty to read about it out there on X if you want to pick up more information on PDI. Will it ever get to a cent? Well, if it gets a cent, then I guess 10 cents is possible, right? And if it gets to 10 cents, well, is it 50 cents possible? Is a dollar possible? And of course, dollar is a speculative peg. Of course, no guarantees there. The other one, of course, we're watching as well is being, let's see if I got it on this list, is the stable, right? The stable. Now, this is not going to be a stable to $1, right? The idea, this is supposed to be $1.60, not $1. So this is STBL from Sun AG. Of course, they were supposed to bring over $22 million or so over the chain. I don't think we've seen that yet. I think we saw a little bit of money, but we shall see. This is something maybe they're delayed. I think they said they were going to be delayed a week, more like a week or two, rather than 3 days. So I think they changed their plans after not correctly setting up their LP. And here we are at 65 cents at the moment. So are they going to hit $1.60? That was when they started. Look, see how it got up there. That's kind of where their target is. And that reflects their, I think, their meal plan, right? It's in Europe. So we shall see. This will be a big deal. If they do that stuff, this is going to be a major impact on Pulsechain, like really, really major. So we'll see where we head there. And of course, they got tons of customers in Europe there. So we'll see. The magic lose weight plan, right? With yeah, sounds pretty good. I think it's pretty popular. All right, so let's jump out of there. That is kind of that. Let's go to the influencer coins. Pretty much they're all down. They're all down at the moment. The only one we're going to point out here is Solidates at the moment. It is $13.89. We know there's a big gain coming for that. Could be one of the 2 top game fires on Pulsechain. And that is the crash game coming to Solidates. So we'll see where that goes. Obviously speculative, but you know that's the play on that one. And finally, I think that's it at the moment. So let's jump over to Pulsechain overall. And before we wrap up this section, and we're going to get into Titan X next. We're only 24 minutes on the hour, so we're actually doing pretty good. So let's have a look at the total volumes. $10 million. So yeah, we're over $10 million. We've been over $10 million at least for several days now. It's great to see that, right? So it's positive. The best day we did was 25 million, if you guys remember, and we're at 250,000 transactions. So we're getting a bit of life in the old chain, old Pulsechain. So that's kind of cool. Anyway, we got this IDF supported token, Free Palestine. Well, definitely IDF is freeing Palestine for sure. And then we got UFO down there up 4.6%. The party token there from Maximus, and of course a dip catcher is up 1% as well. So a little bit of movements there, but everything else is pretty much down on the 24-hour trending time frame there. All right, that is pretty much it for that. So let's jump into the old gas prices. Obviously, the gas prices have been rising. We've got a bit of a spike at the moment. We're up 600,000 on the beat, so you're going to expect to pay a little bit more for your transactions, although it's still ultimately super cheap. 0.8 of a penny for Pulsechain swap at the moment. So Gwei on Ethereum is 2 Gwei, so we're still almost 200 times cheaper than that at the moment, even with the higher beats. Validators at the moment, we are fully decentralized chain, right? Pulsechain is full DeFi and a layer 1 fork of Ethereum, so it's battle tested, super cheap, super fast. 48,657 validators, 1.56 trillion pulse off the market with those validators as well. Now, the bridge, we were over 100 million yesterday. Ouch, we're back down under. But hey, look, we got to go up and test things a bit. We're at 97.7, or just under 98 million. So we're down about 2.4 million or something like that. Now, we know that ETH's down, right? So ETH's down. We know Bitcoin is down. We just looked at those charts. And, of course, EHEX there pulled off from that high down a little bit too. But still holding above USD Tether, which it flipped a couple of days back. So not too bad there. That's kind of where we are at the moment. I think the the EDI looks pretty similar to what we've seen, 28.4 million. Not much to say about that. All right, that is pretty much it for day 492. We're going to be starting day 493, of course. Let's have a quick look at Hex to wrap things up. We're on day 1750 for Hex, can you believe it, on Ethereum. Excuse me. We haven't had an update, though, on the data since day 1741, but Pulsechain has been updating, I think. Yeah, 1748. So we're still waiting for today's data. That will probably be out after the show. But yesterday's data was 7.178 Hex per T-share. Not too bad. We had a big shit jump in the share rate, though, 2 days ago, 98.5. We're sitting at 36,600 on the share rate there on Pulsechain. T-shares have been going up and down quite large. Look at 10,000 decrease, 10,000 increase, 8,000 decrease there. Still sitting at 9,143,000 T-shares there at the moment. And the reward pool, of course, for those owners is around about 65.6 million a day with pretty modest penalties lately. So that's pretty much it on the old Hex. That wraps up our second section of the live stream, which is on the old Pulsechain. Now I've got to remove that and now add in Titanex. So we've got a lot happening on the old Titanex on Ethereum now. So we're switching chains, but we're not quite ready for that yet. So let's go back. That's not the right one. I put the wrong one in again. That's hilarious. All right, so that's not the right one. I've got to pull it up. That's why. Let's get rid of that and go for gold. We're going to talk about Titanex. This thing is going to go through the roof on the old Titanex. So I think people are going to be pretty happy getting involved with some of these things. And you're still early, right? But it's not going to be quite that way in a couple of days' time. All right, let's see. This is the old Pulsechain. Now we've moved to Ethereum. We got Baby Dragon X is up the best the last 24 hours, 26%. Pretty awesome gains there. Dragon X is up 17.5%. Of course, Dragon X is kind of like the store of value on top of Titanex. And the super whale, as they call them. Some people call it T-shares as well, but like in Hex. So Dragon X there is a behemoth. Hyper there is a way of leveraging, getting more Titanex on top of Titanex. That is up 14% today. Helios is one of the projects built on Titanex there. That's up 11.6%. Titanex itself, we're going to look at that, is up 10.6% at the moment. JKX, the meme coin, is up 3.7%. LegendX, which is associated to the same founder as JKX, is LegendX, and that's NFT token hybrid. That's down 1.3%. Inferno, which is another, it's similar to DragonX, but it's in its own sub-ecosystem. It's like a store of value as well. Inferno, they're down 12.2% on 24 hour, but is up 16% on the last 6 hours, which is pretty cool, and up 2% on the last hour. So nice, a bit of recovery there. Had a very volatile night overnight, the Inferno, just crazy stuff. Now, Titan Blaze, that is down 55% on 24 hours. So some big mad gains on there. But we're going to talk about some things coming up for Blaze with the staker payout, which is in Ethereum, right? So that pays you out in the Ethereum. So look forward to that too. So those are a bit of an overview. Let's have a look at Titan X. There we are. We're at 7,228 is the price. And you can see the chart there still moving up there as well. So looking pretty good. But let's add our overlays because we want to look at all the projects coming. And bam, let's go. So it's got the latest and greatest as well. And of course, there was a project update on Twitter X today, which was only a few hours ago. But we can see Hydra is expected to come out anytime now. And of course, the big news about that was from Jake Sharp. So let's look at that. Hydra there is the next. It is a juggernaut. It is from Jake Sharp himself, the founder of Titan X. So it has that next level status on it. But yeah, pretty cool stuff from Jake Sharp coming out today. As you guys know, Jake used to do a lot of Pulsechain Hex content. Obviously, moved into his own ecosystem on Ethereum, and of course, he's going to be going multi-chain. So he will be probably touching Ethereum, other chains in the future there with the X28 project. 80 hours time window there, 2,000. So that's the 9 hours we've got this. 80 hours time window there for the launch of the Hydra project, which is going to be a bit like Hyper, but for Dragon X in particular and Titan X as well. So yeah, pretty bullish within that time frame. Now the interesting thing about these 80 hours is that we know we have big inflation now, right? So let's go look at the inflation over this time. So very clever little strategic play there from Jake and Eric. But we know that, let me just scroll down a bit further. We know that we have two of the big last candles left. This one is finished, by the way. We've just half an hour past this, so this one's gone. 3.6 trillion. Titan X was coming out, and that is closed now. Now we're in the orange day. We just started the orange day. We're expecting just under 2.1 trillion. And these are the last two big candles of inflation, really are the last two big candles. Now, after this, we still have about 1 trillion candles, but the big giants have pretty much come out. And funny, the Hydra there could launch any time between these, which is pretty awesome. Really smart thinking there from Jake Sharp there. And yeah, now we expected 3.6 trillion. We've had about 3.8 trillion because we had a bit of washover from previous days so far. So I just did the update on what actually came out. It was at least half an hour ago. And yeah, so that is pretty awesome. So, and today we've got 2 trillion. Once we're through this, man, crazy. Now let's look a bit further afield to the 90-day. You can see that here's the 90-day one. Once we're through this orange candle, the blue's already gone, remember? It's already out. So once we've got the orange out today, that's going to be out by tomorrow. Then we jump all the way down here to really half a trillion coming out. So that's really low. And then, of course, in the last 5 days of September, we got 5 trillion candles left. And then in October, we got 2 left. After the 5th of October, we got no more trillion candles coming out. And you got to remember, this is a major event. And you can see the downtrend and supply just tapers right off. It's going to be absolutely amazing. When is going to be peak inflation? Well, Hydra is going to play an important fundamental role in that because Titan X is going to be required to go into Hydra. So we're looking forward to that. Now, this is the Hydra app.hydra.win. Now, obviously, you need a password at the moment. It's not live yet, but this is the website which will be live. And, of course, Jake's been pushing that out. So pretty exciting about that. To break the matrix, you must first become the matrix. I love that. Some really big talking there. Now, obviously, we've had the upcoming here. So this is for the upcoming Hydra launch. The only official place for the contracts is going to be here. I'm going to paste this in the chat there if you guys are looking to get into Hydra, because I think this is pretty awesome. So Hydra, and these are the official links. So remember that. Always follow Jake Sharp and use the DApp from there if you're going in with Titan X, right? So very exciting launch coming up going to launch anytime within 80 hours. Now, this was posted out, right? So let me just jump back out of there. This was posted out, 80 hours time, 9 hours ago. So really it's in the next 70 hours, right? 70 hours, this could launch at any time now, which is pretty bullish. What else? Let's jump through that. Yeah, they had a build on Titan X update today on episode 37. That was very cool, very interesting. Yeah. Let me jump back here. Price alerts. So lots of cool stuff happening. Let me jump through here. We're going to jump through all these updates. Yeah, for the upcoming launch, only use the official links there, app.hydra.win. That is going to be the official website for Hydra launch. You can see some cool stuff coming here. Mark the Hexagon talking about it. You can see big deal there. Now we have covered the white paper before, so that's kind of cool. And yeah, there's the app there as well. So if you want to get the white paper is there. I'm going to post that. I'll copy that link as well. White paper there. So let's go Hydra white paper and app. So it's going to launch anytime within the next 70 hours. So check that out. Bam. There we go. That's it on that one. And Superman Crypto. So those are the 3 YouTube channels: Hydra white paper and dApps. And that is the official links there from Jake Sharp. What else we got here? Yes button. We're going to have we'll unlock first. That's your #1 source. Yeah. So be careful in telegrams. Telegrams can be often hijacked by scammers. They can pretend that they're mods and all sorts of clever tricks. So use the official links is probably the way to go there on that one. So that is the link for Hydra. That is going to be huge. It is a mega deal for the TitanX ecosystem. And of course, a leverage there on DragonX and TitanX is going to be pretty huge. So good stuff happening there with Jake Sharp. The price at the moment, as we saw there, is looking pretty friendly. And we're sitting at 7,200. We had a recent high of 8,255. So with 6 zeros in front of it, just come back a little bit there and bounced. We managed to bounce off 6,500 there. Now, Vortex is the big one coming out. Going to be a major deal for that inflation, right? So we know what the inflation coming out is. Let's go have a look at TitanX and we can see what the existing inflation is. We'll go to the stats there. We know that there's just under 69 trillion liquid. And then we've got all the stuff coming out in the future, right? So that's kind of the play there, what's going on. And like I say, that blue line's gone now. It's already out. That's already included in that liquid supply here, which increased by about 2.2 trillion from yesterday. And so we had a bit of staking, a bit of stuff going to BOT or some of the other protocols. It's kind of cool absorbing that. Now, let's go back into that. So we've got that coming up. We've also obviously got some pretty big milestones. We've got Vortex opening up on the 19th. That's going to add another buy and burn. So we're going to have 3 buy and burns buying TitanX. So remember, TitanX is being bought up and burned, and then Hydra's launching on top of that. You see everything is leveraged on everything else. The flywheels continue to grind, and the Vortex is going to be really, really important for that. And if we go to the Hyper, which has got the Vortex in it, remember Hyper is a leverage play on TitanX to get more TitanX. Let's go to the buy and burn. We can see also we had a milestone, right? We had over 1,000 Ethereum in the buy TitanX with Ethereum. So there's over almost 1,040 Ethereum in there, $2.4 million. That's with the price of ETH pulling back, as we saw earlier. But man, the Vortex is about to open up. There's a whole different separate box, little jar of money sitting in Ethereum here, 382 ETH, $880,000. That's about to open up in a few days' time, adding a third, buy and burn supply there. So that's pretty cool on the Vortex. We're also going to have Hyper's 96-day payout. So the Hyper 96-day payouts coming up as well. So staker payouts. This is really the only major inflation that we've got for a little while in Hyper, and that's coming out soon. So we've got 76.5 billion Hyper. So that's the only real inflation, and that's coming out there. I suspect, given the fact that Hyper has got how much liquid? Yeah, 1 trillion and 50 billion. So that's just going to put us back to where we were actually, because we were just over 1.1 trillion. So that will just put us back up there where we started. And of course, it's burning all the time, right? Burning with the Hyper buy and burn pulse. So this is burning all the time. Every 3 hours, 5.3 billion TitanX is used to buy, burn Hyper, and take that off. Now, the mine yield is very attractive, 313%. So it's still driving a lot of miners in here. And of course, the ETH has filled up well over 1,000 now. Exciting times in this ecosystem. So that's kind of cool. Now, people, can use Hyper to leverage on TitanX potentially, and then of course go into Hydra. After that's one strategy people were talking about, very popular. So we're going to see that ebbs and flows. Now we may maybe see a short-term bit of pressure on Hyper possibly with the launch of Hydra, but then maybe that flattens out. We shall see how that plays out on that. All right, so that's kind of a pretty bullish. So we've got Hydra, and then of course we've got the Vortex opening up with the Hyper payouts. That's going to be pretty cool. And then we've got the Flux, right? So Flux is the second protocol. Now this is going to be benefiting. You see, I've got INF there. It's going to be benefiting Inferno. So Hydra benefits, benefits DragonX and TitanX. In fact, I might put that in there. DragonX and TitanX. So that kind of benefits those two, right? So if you see in the brackets, DragonX, TitanX. but Flux is going to benefit Inferno, right? We're expecting a launch somewhere between the 19th September and the 22nd of September. It's got the PBV checks going on at the moment. It's had the audits done. So, yeah, I think we're heading pretty well for that. Of course, we had bad sports on yesterday. I thought that was pretty cool. So Flux coming out there, and you can see the timing. So Hydra out first, and in the next 70 hours, the inflation is going to be out. Then we've got on the 19th there, slash the 20th, we've got the Vortex buy and burn ending, giving us 3 buy and burns. And then we've got Hyper pay out there for the supply increase. And then we've got Flux coming out, going to be bullish for Inferno, right? And so it's going to help feed the buy and burn on Inferno, which is going to be mega bullish. So let's go down to Inferno. Inferno at the moment, let's have a look on that. So obviously it had the final cycle. So all the inflation's out for Inferno. And so it's going to be burning that up, right? We're still sitting at about 40%, but it's going to be burning it up 5.8 trillion there in Inferno. So the actual net supply is about 3.7 trillion there. And the burn there has got how much in there? 2 trillion, 152 billion Titan almost $1,550,000 in the buy and burn. So that's going to be pretty cool. At the moment, remember, between Sunday and Wednesday, it does 4% per day. And then, of course, Thursday does 10%, Saturday, Sunday does 15%. And then it transfers, that's just 50% of the amount, or approximately. And then it just transferred the rest into the next week. So it might take 4 to 6 weeks or something like that, based on developers' comments about how far this goes through the buy and burn. But in addition, this is going to be refed with the Flux project that's launching. So Flux is going to be pretty important in there. And of course, we've got Flux all the way down here. September launch there, and the white paper. We've gone through this in the past, but the white paper coming up there. You can see if we go to Titan X distribution on Flux, 17.2% Titan X to Inferno, and then it burns it. So that is huge for Inferno. So just like Hydra is going to be bullish, just like Hydra here is going to be bullish for Dragon X and Titan X, Flux is going to be bullish for Inferno and getting rid of that supply. That's why Dragon X and Inferno are kind of similar, kind of beasts, dragon beasts there, which is pretty epic. So that's pretty cool. You can see even with the Flux, Dragon X is going to get 4% of the vault, percent of the vault as well as Helios. So it's actually benefiting a few of the other projects out there too, which is pretty awesome. Right, that is pretty much it on that one. So those are the bullish things coming up ahead of us. I've actually added, this is new, I've added Blaze 88-day payout. So Blaze, remember, they get paid out in Ethereum. So that's really huge because that's going to add more capital into the system again, something we haven't highlighted before. So I thought I'd go to Blaze, and let's pull that up here. So Blaze, we're going to go to that, and you can see the amount of money that's coming in for the Blaze staker rewards. So you get people stake Blaze, right? It's an ETH auction, right? So ETH goes in there, and then the 88-day payout's coming out in only a few days. So it's got almost $200,000 worth of ETH, so 85 ETH there. That's got to go somewhere. And how bullish the ecosystem is, probably like to go back into the system, right? So that's coming up here too on the 21st. So bullish, right? So bullish. So the only thing here that's kind of not so bullish is the Hyper payout, but that's it's probably not going to make a huge impact on Hyper, given the fact that there's not a lot of inflation coming out over the next 25 days, and that's the only one. The next big inflation is about the 8th of October, and that's got that about 692 billion coming out for Hyper at that time. So not too bad, 70 something here. And so I think Hyper is still looking very good for some time to come. So kind of cool on that one. Obviously, we've had updates around Vault. So Vault's coming up there. They've had their second audits in play, and they've also announced not only are they doing other projects like Viper in October, and then of course Titan Games in November. These are the expected times, but 2 more protocols have decided to come into Vault. So it's going to be bullish for Dragon X. So it's coming bulling in for Dragon X. So Hydra's going to be bullish for Dragon X. Vault's going to be bullish for Dragon X, and so are the other protocols. One of those, of course, is Scale. Not Scale. Is AwesomeX. So AwesomeX I haven't got on the timeline yet. So it's just sitting up here in the red box. These projects are coming in. There's more projects in this, but we're just highlighting some of them. AwesomeX coming in. Now they were going to be for Hyper, remember? But now this is coming in on Dragon X. So HyperX is going to be on Dragon X on Vault. So that's going to be pretty important there. So yeah, pretty awesome. So we've got Lotus is coming in on Vault. Yeah, Dragon X is coming in on Awesome X is coming in on Dragon X, and we'll get a time frame for that at some stage. So Vault coming in, still expecting to launch in September. I've actually moved this back a couple of days because they were talking about trying to launch after Flux. So I've moved this back about a day or two. So I've got this at the 22nd of September there for Vault. So it's going to be pretty badass. So if we go to Vault here on the hub, we can see Vault down here. September launch confirmed. And of course, Vault there. It's going to be a pretty cool project as well. We can see the token distribution. It's going to maximum supply 1 billion tokens. Remember, it's going to have the first 10 days, all the inflation is going to be out. So that's kind of neat. We like that sort of approach. That's proved to be pretty good for some of the projects. Obviously, Inferno closed with 8 weeks of cycles. This is just 10 days. So there's going to be a lot of pressure to get in on this. That's going to be pretty bullish, right? And then they're going to have some of that rotating back in for auctions after day 11. So you're going to recycle some of that, which is pretty neat. Now, this is also supporting Dragon X, right? Because 4% is going to the Dragon X Vault. So yeah, pretty cool. And then they're going to come out with the Vault wheel. That should be pretty interesting. That's phase 2, just on Vault here. So some cool stuff happening there with Vault. And that's going to probably surprise a few people there as well. So Vault looking pretty good. Now, I'm not sure we had any update from Felix lately or Pulsar on Pulsechain, the Pulsar there, and the Flip Felix there as well. And of course, Ouroboros is coming up as well later on. Now, Ouroboros is going to be kind of a unique stablecoin lending borrowing. Major deal there. So those are all September, and I believe that's in testnet at the moment on the Ouroboros. It's the first DeFi project coming to the Titan X ecosystem. But in October, of course, you can see some of the others. Element Titan Farms going to be massive big deal. Jake's very bullish on it, and that's an Eric project there from Dragon X. Element 280, of course, we're going to be interviewing the dude tomorrow. You don't want to miss that. He's a really smart guy, really doing some great stuff. The Element 280, think of it like an index where you get to invest in everything. And so it's going to be able to, if you want to come into the Titan X ecosystem, it's all too confusing, then you can just get into Element 280 and it's going to buy a bit of everything up. Yeah, kind of cool like that. We got the Felix as well. That's going to be, like I say, question mark whether that launches September, October. And then, of course, we've got Viper coming up in October there. Scale. I've got Scale out here. This is a new one. You may not have heard of this. That's going to build on Baby Dragon X. So, yeah, we're talking about Baby Dragon X. That's number one performer today, up 26%, probably on the news of the Scale project potentially. But that's coming up there. And Scale, Baby Dragon X. Now, no definitive time zone for that, like time frame. But they said they might try and get it out before the 369 payout. That would mean it's out before the 30th. So at the moment, I've got it tentatively sitting at the end of October. That's a new one there too. So we added the Blazed 88-day payout today. We've shifted the Vault back a little bit there. We've got the Scale added to the list there as well. And of course, we've got Awesome X up here with the build on Dragon X. Just some of the project calls coming up there. And we also got Lotus, right? Lotus is going to be building on top of Vault. So Vault's expected to launch in the second half of September. And that's also going to benefit Vault and Titan X, right? So pretty cool there. And you can see some other cool names like Alien X there from Bad Sports and Flair coming up. So likely part of the, at this stage, I think they're part of the Inferno, but we'll confirm that later on. So much happening. And then by the time we get to November, Titan game, right, from the Vault team, Viper. And then, of course, X28, which is going to be absolutely mega. We know that Jake Sharp thinks that this is going to be burned even more than anything else other than Titan X itself. With the buy and burns, X28, multi-chain. It's going to be really powerful there. And that's all everything that goes in there. All Titan X that goes into the X28 is going to be burned, baby, burn, which is pretty epic. And if we go back to the future inflation, by the time we get into November, so this is my estimated time frame for it, of course. Then you look how low the inflation is, virtually nothing, especially after the 8th of November is down, very low days. I mean, some of the days, 50 billion, that's all that's coming out on the 13th of November. And look at all those low days, all around 50 billion. So crazy. Now, obviously, we could have peak inflation maybe around the turn of the month, maybe at the beginning of October. In other words, that's a peak inflation and it just burns off. Hydra will be very important for that, as well as all the other protocols. And then, of course, we could have Titan X mining again, right? Titan X could be profitable mining. So that could be pretty interesting if we get Titan X mining there. I'm just trying to find out where the DAP is. I think it's over here. So at the moment, the mining yield on Titan X is a negative 39%. So if this goes positive, I think about break-evens around about 5 zeros, 1100. So if we get above that, then we're going positive. And once we get a positive yield, even as low as 30-40%, we're going to see people mining Titan X. But here's the trick. There's not, the ratio's gone down, right? So we had 8 million. By the time we actually get there, this could be, I don't know, 2 million, 2.25 million per day. So the amount of new inflation coming out is still going to be relatively low compared to all the inflation in existence. So yeah, even when we get back to positive mining, which is crazy to think about, right? And the early adoption amplifier is getting down as well. That could be very low by the time we get this back into profitable mining. But then, of course, what would happen if we do? Well, the ETH comes in, and it's going to feed the V2 buy and burn, right? Which is one of our 2 buy and burns at the moment. And it's going to feed that, and that's got 704 ETH that's going down. But by the time we get, I think by the time we get, maybe halfway through this, or even low, even towards the end of it, we could get that profitable mining back, and we could see the start fill up again, which would be hilarious, right? And we love hilarious stuff. That's pretty kind of cool. So that's kind of the play there at the moment. There's lots more projects in this. Like I say, I think there's something like 35 or so projects on the list. But as soon as they get a more definitive date, we'll put them in there. If you've got a question mark here, then the date, we just don't know. If we've got a question mark on these, I'm just not sure exactly of the date. Just what we know was the date, but it needs to be confirmed. So kind of cool there. So good stuff happening, and that's all on the Titan X Hub here from Mike Dean, of course, the number one guy here. Now you can obviously get premium upgrade as well. Give a big shout out for that. If you want to get all the data, they've got data for lots of cool projects. Titan X Hub, Hub data, Dragon X, Baby Dragon X data, and it's $250 a year. It's pretty good value if you're looking to get the inside information there on all the mining, global mining pools and all sorts of stuff. When's mining coming out? Where can you put your miners? Stuff like that. That's pretty awesome. You can also join our strategy club. Links in the video description, and get a lot of alpha in there constantly. We're posting some of the latest stuff there. Multi-chain opportunities to strategy club, well worth joining up to. $35 a month, so it's pretty much nothing. And the upside is huge, right? So get in on that. All right, post that Titan X Hub there if you want to check it out. All right, let's go back into some of the chats there. So that is the market at the moment. So lots of cool stuff happening, and look at that. Woohoo! Now there is going to be a big conferences coming up, like big YouTuber things for the Titan X ecosystem. So that's going to be fun to watch. I think people are going to be excited about that. I watched the movie Superman and my girlfriend in spring 979, a Dragon X holder. Nice one there, refined. Well done, mate. That was awesome. Maybe it was Christmas 978. Yeah, it's a little while back now, but it kind of, isn't it? Memories kind of funny like that. It feels like you could almost go back to yesterday. Like yesterday. Memories a funny thing. We've got MVS in the house there. Hey, morning, MVS. Hope you're doing well. Crushing it on X as well. Refine says, I am the Matrix. And you are indeed. All right, so that's pretty much it on that. I think we've covered all that stuff. Now, obviously, X1 chain is expected to come up. We're going to be talking about a lot of that stuff. The Zen blocks halving is tomorrow. Can you believe it? It's less than a day away. In fact, it's 20? Let's see, 20 hours away for the Zen block halving. Wow, what's it going to do? Sol Zen as well, I think, is I thought Sol Zen's going to be minting out 3 or 4 months, and that's going to be fun to see that as well. I'm going to be posting something about Sol Zen in the strategy club today. You don't want to miss out on that. Certainly a speculative opportunity that could have massive upsides, right? Massive upsides. So we're going to talk about that in strategy club today. I'm going to post that alpha for the strategy club members who are crushing it and all these things. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Hope you guys enjoyed the content today. We covered crypto, covered Pulsechain, covered Titan X, and of course the big protocols coming, Hydra and Flux. Let's end the polls on the Hex token first. We're going to end that one first and see what the results are. Let's see here. Will you participate in the Titan X projects? Hydra, 43%. Wow, we got 23 votes too. So that's a good number. Man, I think that's going to be a good move. Nope, 43% says nope. And of course, we've got yes, 8% on both of them. So 8% of people are going to be in both of them. Pretty smart move there. And yes, Flux, 4%. Nice one there. So good results there on Hex token. Let's go to Superman Crypto in the poll over there. Let's go for gold. And how many votes we got over there? Let's see. We've got 10 votes over there. We got 50% going into Hydra, 20% into Flux, 20% are going into both. So really good results there. And only 1 in 10 not going in at all. So there we go. That's on that one. Remember to check out the Hydra white paper definitely check that out. And as soon as we'll probably have another look at Flux. We'll probably try and get Bad Sports on again as well at some stage. So that's going to be pretty cool. And don't forget, we've got the Element 280 interview with the dude. That's both Ethereum and Pulsechain. You don't want to miss that, especially the Janus project. If you like the PGC, then Janus might be something you like as well. So check out that. That's going to be pretty cool coming up tomorrow. We've got Brennan in the house there. Hey, Brennan, good to see you. Coming at the end there. Howdy, folks. Kind of cool. All right, so we're going to finish up there. It's 55 minutes on the hour, so a bit shorter show than we had yesterday. But it's great to have been able to cover all this cool stuff happening, man. And we're in September, and what happens when we get to October? Bullish month, October. It's going to be a lot of fun. So get in there, take your positions. I think you've got a couple of days minimum, maybe 48 hours. I mean, Titanx is about to probably go explode. So definitely take your opportunities there. And of course, nice little breather for Pulsechain. Maybe a little opportunity to pick up something. Just keep track of the RSI. Always good there and get your best deal. All right. Take care and subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. See you in Discord. Take care. I'll see you guys tomorrow for that big interview with Element 280, Helios, and of course Janus there on Pulsechain. Going to be a lot of fun. Take care. Bye for now.